just wanted to come to LA, talk to everybody about the concussion litigation, basically the status of it, what's going on. First of all, you know, when someone mentions attorney, a lot of times they think, oh my goodness, attorney. But I'm a guy who really cares for my clients. You know, they keep me awake at night. CTE doesn't, but my clients do, because I care for them, I care for their families. I do typically personal injury related litigation, and this NFL concussion litigation is basically a situation where, you know, an employer has a duty to protect the employee, okay? Say you're working in hazardous materials business, okay? You're gonna have personal protective equipment, gloves, respirators, Tyvek suits, things of that nature, because it's not safe to do your job if you don't have the right equipment. Same thing for NFL, okay? These guys knew of the impact that, you know, these TBI, traumatic brain injury, and repetitive concussions would do to an individual, and didn't want to tell the players, their employees, the people that they had a duty to protect. And instead, they just wanted to keep making money. And, you know, if someone goes out, like Tony Romo, you know, hey, they're losing money. That guy, they're paying him to play every single game, a lot of money to play. And so, not only that, now they have the protocols in place. They have to have doctors on the field, people sitting up and looking down to make sure, you know, if someone had a concussion, you know, how bad was it? You know, pull them out of the game, do the testing. You know, the protocols are expensive. Not only that, they have, you know, the BAP is coming out, baseline assistance program. It costs a lot of money, but you know, now they're forced to do it because the attorneys have made them do it. That's what we do. We make people pay a lot of money so they learn from their mistakes and they don't do it again. Anyway, the deadline for the Supreme Court appeal is August 30th. It's like 4 days from now. So I don't think that they're going to appeal it.
Monday. They'll probably appeal Monday if they do.
Well, the Supreme Court won't hear it, I don't think, even if they do, because, you know, they don't have to. They typically deal with issues relating to constitutional matters, same-sex marriage, abortion rights, things of that nature, or things of national importance that are unsettled, or areas of law where, you know, it's an area of first impression, more or less, which are pretty rare, which none of the apply to this. And, you know, BP tried it in their settlement program. You know, they had agreed to a settlement and said, hey, after people started getting paid, they're like, hey, that's not fair. It's like, well, you agreed to it. That's the purpose of an agreement. You know, and so they ended up paying. And I was involved in that too. But anyway, we're finally going to have an opportunity to have players, you know, get some money for, you know, all the injuries and suffering that their families have undergone through all these years. And believe me, you know, I've heard some terrible stories, a lot like yours that you spoke about today. It's just, it breaks my heart to think about all of these players and their wives and their kids and all of the just pain that these guys have gone through. And money, that's not going to help that. I mean, it takes away some of the stress, but, you know, my grandmama told me money's a lot like manure. It's only good if you spread it around. And that's what I like to do, okay? Because you can't take this weekend. You know, all these material things mean nothing. You know, it's about family, about friendships, and about caring for other people. You know, and so a lot of attorneys don't like to talk about that kind of thing because they don't probably even believe it. But that's what I believe, and I'm not scared to tell anybody. So. talk a little bit about the settlement agreement.
Okay. Settlement agreement, do you guys talk about the process of money? What do you think? And so just let it flow.
Sure.
Don't
sure.
hurry. You got 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Basically, players get, when they file a claim, you have to have 5 years for a total vesting. For every year less than that, it's 20% reduction. All right? If you're over the age of 44, you start getting hit financially. Okay? And it's every 5 years after that. And one thing that's really, really important that a lot of people don't even think about is if they are 44, they need to be tested immediately, because if they turn 45, they could lose $1 million 1 year, just because they happen to fall within that. So 44, 49, 54, 59, 64, 69, okay? If you're that old, you need to be tested before your birthday this year, or you stand to lose some money, okay? Anyway, where was I going with that? You just want to make sure that, you know, if you have an attorney, that they're staying on top of your potential claim, because like I said, if they're not paying attention to your birthdays and letting these deadlines pass, it's going to ultimately cost you and your family money. Okay, and you want to make sure that they're working with some neurologists that, you know, aren't on the NFL side of the fence, okay? And that's what I'm worried about with the BAP. It's supposed to be objective, okay? These doctors are supposed to be selected through the National Board of Neurology, an independent, non-biased type, you know, selection process. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll see when it comes out, because the BAP is supposed to come out within 90 days of the effective date, which should be, I would think, sometime probably in the next 2 months or less, okay? Claims could be starting later in the year, I think around November, December. It might even be October, because the NFL is wanting to get this thing over with. They're wanting to have these releases signed, and they have at least a known amount of liability out there, because they don't want CTE in this thing, okay? They fought to get it out, and they won, because that's what most players probably have. And, you know, if they don't have the neurocognitive impairment, they have CTE, but they're not getting paid for that, because you can't, you know, diagnose it until you're dead. But that doesn't mean we won't be able to tomorrow, and that's what the appeal was about. They wanted to say, hey, this isn't fair. You know, CTE needs to be included in the settlement agreement, but it's not. And so, you know, NFL won big on that. You know, they'll pay $1 billion, but what do they make? They make $1 billion in 1 year.
Well, the NFL will be paying for that. You know, our attorneys sold us out on the CTE issue.
That's right.
And within 2 weeks of the settlement being approved, the NFL owners will write our so-called attorneys. I opted out.
You were one of the opt-outs, okay.
So I'm one of the
Good for you.
out. But the way the NFL bought our attorneys off was they said to them, I was in New York, you get these foolish players to drop CTE as a qualifier, and we will write you a check. Forget what you're going to make off the players. We will write you a check for $112 million within 30 days of it being approved. And so our attorneys then turned around, and with the guys who stayed in, 18,000 plus, they convinced our guys, oh, you don't need CTE in there, take it out, and they took it out. And when Ray Easterling and Craig Munchnick and those guys, I was one of the first 5 that filed that lawsuit, CTE was what it was all about. So what we ended up with on the lawsuit is definitely going to benefit, like some players, but the owners won because they bought our lawyers off again. And we're going to have a lot of guys who deserve payment who will not get paid.
I agree wholeheartedly, and that's exactly what I was just saying. CTE was the deal. You know, that's what people are primarily suffering from. I mean, a lot of them have, you know, obviously, dementia, neurocognitive impairment, things of that nature, but, you know, according to the Boston University study, 98% of all brains that have been studied had CTE.
And that's why the owners wanted that taken out. And our attorneys, you're an attorney, right?
I'm an attorney, yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm telling, but, the other attorneys.
But our attorneys took that $112 million and sold us out.
Question.
Sure.
Isn't that supposed to be re-reviewed in 10 years for CTE in the settlement?
No.
You surrendered your rights forever. If you remained in the settlement, you surrendered your rights forever, and no scientific evidence that is uncovered tomorrow or next week, the next month, and it is coming, you can never use that.
Okay. It was my misunderstanding that I thought in 10 years the whole thing was going to be reviewed again.
Isn't it true that the NFL never admitted knowledge of the whole problem of concussion?
Sure.
When I held a conference in 1994 that noted neurologist Elliot Bellman, you know, who was a rheumatologist. So out in the whole country, the biggest medical brain expert they could find was a rheumatologist who graduated from the University of Guadalajara med school, right? And so he called me a fearmonger in Sports Illustrated. They had the tests. They knew the players were suffering from concussion damage, and they denied it. Kept telling the players there's no problem.
What that is, it was presented to many of the ex-players to opt in means you're going to get a settlement.
You don't opt in. You're in unless you opt out.
Unless you opt out.
If you don't do anything, you're in. If you don't opt
Wow.
out, you're in.
Okay. So, if there's a settlement for the people who opt out,
Oh, we're coming back out.
There's a lawsuit. They can still file a lawsuit.
No, we're coming back.
Separate.
That's why we opted out.
okay, but so with the players that either did nothing or opted in,
They opted in automatically if they did nothing. They're
yeah, but I'm
automatically.
saying in that situation, where are the players in that scenario?
They're in some.
You're stuck. You're
Stuck.
Okay.
But hey, think about it too, all right? If you're having cognitive impairment issues, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, you don't have the legal capacity to make a decision to whether to opt in or out. And even if you did, it wouldn't matter. It's not legal. You gotta have somebody, a power of attorney or a conservator or a guardian to make that decision for you. And so a lot of these players, they opted in, but
They're never going to let them out. If you stayed in, from Supreme Court on, you go back down, everyone was given ample opportunity to opt out. The lawyers and the league and everyone, they took out national, press releases and everything advising you. If you didn't opt out, you're in. You're not going to opt out at this point now if you remain in. And there's some guys who don't need to opt out because there's some guys who are going to get some money who are going to need it. And a lot of those guys who are going to get money who really need it are the lawyers. And I'll just tell you, I tell you a lot of people that really don't like me, I think that you guys just ripped us off on these lawsuits. We don't know.
who are you talking to?
With the attorneys, with the amount of money that you take from the players on these so-called settlements and what you're charging, like you're them, nothing. It is an absolute ripoff. And I just been.
Hey, I have the lowest rates in town, baby.
How much are you going to take if you represent a player?
25%.
That's a lot better than most of the rest of them are doing.
And it costs a lot of money to send these guys to the neurologist.
It doesn't
These
cost-
guys are there for 2 days.
I mean, you guys are making out like bandits.
They are.
The attorneys are making out like bandits, and as
Some are stealing money. They're stealing people's
well,
money.
I'll just tell you this, because I legally represent 19,000 of them. You know, in these settlements, most of the time, regardless of who it is, the real money is made by the attorneys, and the clients get, you know, something. But I'd much rather get the attorneys' cuts if I had 100 players that I was like David Leimert, you know, the guys. And I'd much rather be like you're an attorney, you know, because you guys really like you'll make out, and I do believe at the expense of players, you know, a lot of times. But you got to make a living too. But you guys are businessmen. You don't love us. You don't, not you, I'm saying this. You know, these attorneys don't love us. You don't really care about that.
Give them permission here.
Legitimate attorneys, Bob.
What you are is you are businessmen, and you're doing it to make a dollar. So anytime I hear an attorney stand up and they can say, oh, I care about these guys so much, I'm really doing this, they can afford, bull. You're businessmen.
I care for my guys, period.
But 25% is a lot better. A lot better than anybody else.
So don't punch him in the public.
Hey, not only that, actually, you know, I worked with Montel Williams. He has a new medical device that he's wanting to bring out onto the market. It's called a PONS unit. It's non-invasive. You put it in your mouth. It's helping with, you know, gait issues, balance issues, a lot of the things that are associated with traumatic brain injury. And it's very new. And I'll send any player that I have there in a heartbeat to get treated, and you know, go anywhere else they need to go to get treated.
Do they
But,
pay for it? When you go to one? Are they paying for it?
yes.
Are they getting money from the NFL?
No, not for this. This is a trial study for this. This is actually designed to help veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan who have had a traumatic brain injury from IED explosion as well. They funded $80 million.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Whoever can answer me. I work for Dr. Linden. I take calls from players that want to get treated. They have hearing loss, they have PTSD, they have CTE. They want help, but they have no money. Dr. Linden's seeing them. He's doing free consultations. He's training to do home for no cost, because if they can come in, he'll see them. But we can't get them in because there's no money, there's no funding.
It will be. Matter of fact, it's Plan 88 right now. If they're a vested player,
How long can, I mean, how do we help them? How do I get them?
well, there's going to be the baseline assistance programs about to roll out, okay? And as soon as that happens, every single player that didn't opt out will be, you know, medical treatment will be available to them for traumatic brain injury, you know, assessments, things of that nature,
So do
okay?
you have any answers as far as like where we can direct them to, because they don't know where to,
Well, they can't
they're
yet.
confused.
The baseline assistance program hasn't started. It'll start after the effective date of the settlement, which should be somewhere, I would think, in the next 30 days. But it'll be before the end of the year. Everybody that opted in will have an opportunity to be treated. They need to be careful if they do that, though. Like I said, that BAP, they might have, you know, they're going to be sharing that information with the NFL. So that's evidence that could contradict your claim from your doctor. You know, all you have is evidence, okay? And so you have one doctor that says, hey, you have a condition that can be compensated for, all right? And if they don't have any other evidence, it's hard to fight that, okay? But if they have other evidence from the BAP that contradicts it, hey, you're out $1 million, $2 million, whatever the case is. And so you just got to be careful when they're doing
So
it.
you said the testing before their 45th birthday, is that, are they going in? Are they?
Well,
We
that,
do their
that-
testing
you know, the attorneys or whoever they're dealing with will have to pay out of their pocket for that. That's different. That's not treatment. That's an assessment. It's a different deal, okay?